Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel. I'm back with another one of my favorite companies in the communications and collaboration space, LeapXpert. Today we have Dima Goodside, founder, CEO of LeapXpert, creating this next wave of communication. Dima, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Evan. Excited.
Well, thank you for joining. I know you're a busy man, spending your time between Europe and North America and Asia. How are things? How's progress coming along at LeapXpert?
We are doing great. So our company was established in 2017 with a sole mission of resolving this complex situation of messaging over external messengers, especially between financial institutions, but not only. And since then, we've been growing non-stop, especially given the tailwinds by the latest enforcement by SEC in the US.
So set the scene for our viewers who may not be familiar with a lot of the regulatory and compliance challenging facing large institutions, including banks. What is the problem you're solving for at LeapXpert?
Right. So if you follow news, then every week or so, you can see in the news, Bloomberg or other channels, that financial institutions, big and small, are paying huge fines for non-compliant communication. It means that company employees of any role are using different types of messengers, SMS, iMessage, WhatsApp, and what's not, to communicate externally, which of course is non-compliant because of the data ownership angle. All the information exchange between both parties exists on personal devices of company employee, personal device of a client, does not exist with the financial institution, which is a big compliance gap. So that's recently there is ever increasing enforcement by SEC, by the US regulators, as well as UK and European regulators on this topic. So that's exactly the problem we are solving by allowing company employees to communicate responsibly with any external parties using any messenger.
Yeah, I love the idea of responsible communications. And that means the communications over WhatsApp or messaging, SMS, or any of the various channels we all enjoy today. And you do that pretty seamlessly. So what's the market reaction been like? You're creating a new space in a new complex environment of regulation and compliance. How have you been received with customers?
It's absolutely a new space. So this space was not addressed before we launched our first version in 2019. And since then, we've seen lots of scenarios. Our product grown tremendously, addressing more and more use cases we see in the wild. We operate our services for at least 3 years already with the biggest financial institutions in the world. So we've seen it all, and we continue iterating over our product given our operational experience and exposure to the market.
That's fantastic. Now you're solving a problem involving mobile messaging typically, but not exclusive to messaging. You're also getting into the voice communications of enterprise communications. How so?
That's correct. So it's a natural evolution of what we do. So we started with messaging because this was the acute problem to be solved. But what we see that communication with external parties goes way beyond messaging. So we're talking about voice and other communication mediums. So a natural evolution of our platform, given this holistic approach to the space we're in, we've evolved. So previously we've been known for this FMOP, which stands for Federated Messaging Orchestration Platform. And right now we're also evolving into voice. So that terminology that no longer works because it's no longer messaging. So we've changed our positioning, our messaging a little bit, and now it's called LeapXpert Communications Platform. Again, it's a single holistic view on this problem, no matter what is the communication channel and communication medium.
Interesting. So voice seems simple, making a phone call to the end user, but it's not as simple as that these days. You have over-the-top VoIP services. You've got mobile fixed line communications. So how do you go to market in this crazy complicated world of telephony these days?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, and kind of the preferences or the needs of our customers have evolved. So what people are looking right now is not be scattered across different communication channels, different phone numbers, and so on. What people are looking for is this single professional identity phone number, usually, which they can build all their communication around, be it phone calls, messaging over any channel, right? Single phone number, right? And with this in mind, we introduced voice, phone number being the main identifier of company employees, which they can port between different networks. And using this phone number, they can communicate with any customer. And our go-to-market really, when it comes to voice, is first of all the lowest hanging fruit, right? Our existing customers, tens of thousands of company employees all around the world, are asking for it, right? So we couldn't say no. So that's one. Second, voice is a very big part of our modern communication, right? So there are many channels and many partners in this space. So one of the go-to-market strategies is partnering with the people who know voice and who sell voice to market, including Microsoft with their Microsoft Teams telephony. And then, of course, alliances with vendors in the voice market, existing vendors who are handling voice capturing. So alliance with them really helps. And of course, cooperation with service providers or carriers all around the world. Because to provide messaging on a global scale, it takes a village. Village in this context means working with many parties in different countries who are providing phone numbers, on top of which we're building our voice services and extending to messaging services as well.
Fantastic. Well, it's certainly open standards and open communications help in your mission. Tell us more about the Microsoft partnership. That sounds intriguing. Why would a Microsoft Teams customer, let's say in a bank or in a financial institution, what have you, need your help over the top when it comes to messaging and voice services?
Right. So integration with cooperation with Microsoft is something we've been working for a few years already. It started with our preference to Azure as a cloud of choice when we deploy our solution to our customers, and then it evolved into deep integration into Microsoft Teams. So what you have seen on the market is that our initial approach was providing a single pane of glass application called LeapWork for our customers to speak with clients. But the world has changed. We can see proliferation of enterprise messengers such as Microsoft Teams, Slack, WebEx, and so on. And we see that company employees prefer to use Microsoft Teams as this single collaboration hub, no matter whom they communicate with. So we iterated over this idea by introducing our Microsoft Teams integration. With our platform in place, any company employee on Microsoft Teams, can be desktop, web, or mobile, from within Teams can communicate responsibly with any client over any messenger in any geography. So integration with Microsoft Teams was an initial boost for our engagement. And then it also evolved into integration with Microsoft Teams telephony. So if you're running Microsoft Teams and you have a telephony enabled, then we are enabling a single click to calls to your clients whom you're already messaging with.
That's fantastic. What a value add as part of the Microsoft ecosystem. So you made a big splash in financial services and banking and Wall Street and other kind of financial capitals around the world, Hong Kong and Europe, London, Frankfurt. You're kind of conquering that market. What's next in terms of industries or markets? I mean, healthcare comes to mind, or other regulated industries, state government services. Do you have your eyes on any other particular kind of use cases?
Absolutely. The sky is the limit. So we indeed started with financial institutions because it was the lowest hanging fruit for us. But the space we are in is applicable to anybody. Really, any enterprise, any company that requires communication with clients have a need in our services today, right? And then the urgency might be different. For some, the urgency is compliance, of course. For others, the urgency will be data ownership, because a responsible enterprise must have the data. A responsible enterprise must know what company employees are messaging with the clients about. And in most of the cases, it's not happening right now, right? So we started with financial institutions. We also have large examples in the legal industry, because a law firm, lawyers speaking with clients is the same need, right? And then we're evolving into government. Governments needs to speak with their citizen, right? And then any other industry really. So we're thinking about healthcare. Healthcare has also built-in fundamental requirements for regulations, just different regulations from financial institutions. So we are working with healthcare providers and other industries, energy, you name it. Any enterprise that requires speaking with clients.
That's fantastic, and it applies to the front end, the front office, as well as the back office, I think, with
Exactly.
contact center and customer service as well.
Even, and I would like to touch base back on voice. So kind of, when it comes to voice enablement, we see this, as I mentioned, as a holistic approach. Now, if you combine messaging capabilities with voice capabilities, you can create many exciting product functionalities. Like just off the top of my head, automatic transcriptions sent after a call, sent to customers' WhatsApp, or maybe workflows involving messaging and voice, like triggering automatic calls to confirm sensitive transactions, especially in banking vertical, or maybe given the push into data and AI, sentiment detection from the voice with real-time feedback to the banking advisor using messaging channel. So imagine you're speaking with a client using voice, and then we can detect that the customer might be a little bit upset, so we can automatically send the message to the company employee saying, be careful, your client is on the edge.
Wow, that's fascinating. It goes well beyond a traditional compliance or call recording or regulatory kind of solution. You're really looking at value-added kind of services now.
Yeah, agree. Again, it's the same need of communicating externally, and this need is not well addressed right now. So kind of all the needs or problems already solved for enterprise communication, right, through Microsoft Teams, Slack, or other enterprise communication tools. All the needs, or most of the needs, of consumer messaging is already solved by beautiful messengers such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, WeChat, and others, right? But the intersection between communication between company employees and clients, this is not addressed, and that's exactly the field we're pioneering as a company.
Well, congratulations on being a first mover in such an exciting new space. Tell us about you and your team. You know, I know you've lived and worked in Europe, Israel, the US, Hong Kong. Where are you now? Or do you actually have a home? I guess is my question these days.
Yeah, good question. My home is everywhere, right? So
okay.
I'm Israeli, so I spent 20 years of my career in Israel, and then I moved to Hong Kong to pioneer the communication space there. And then the company LeapXpert was created in Hong Kong because the messaging phenomenon was born in Asia as well. Right? It started in Asia, and then as the business grew, as the need shifted as well to Europe and then to US. So my home is across all different geographies, ensuring that we're hiring the best people to create the best product, and ensuring that we're able to address our customer needs no matter where they are. So yes, it's a little bit challenging, but it's part of my life.
Challenging, fun, exciting. I've seen you out and about at various conferences and collecting different awards and recognition. Congratulations on that. I assume you'll be traveling again, as we all are getting out in the world a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. And the next week I'm in Miami 2020. So if somebody wants to talk about responsible business communication, please ping me.
Thank you for joining and sharing a bit of your message. And we'll catch you on the social media channels. Take care on your trips.
Thank you very much, Evan.
Take care.